And then he was like, hey guys, I just want to tell you, you got the permanent residency application. And I was like, oh my god, I waited for like a year. Like we literally started September 2018. Hi guys, so I'm Arielle, and so we just wanted to tell you guys about our whole process with our like Canadian permanent residency visa, because we just received our confirmation of permanent residence recently, and this is just like us telling you about our experiences with what happened. This is basically like the first part. We're trying to do like a 3-part series, so this first part is just like our experience with express entry and the application, things like that, because we almost got scammed, so we don't want that to happen to anyone. The second part of the video series would be the things we need to accomplish in Hong Kong before we can leave, because it's not like, okay, here I got the visa, I can just leave right away. There obviously are work commitments and also things that you have to talk to with the government about, that hey, we're leaving because we're not citizens here, we're residents here, so it's a different story. There are some things that you have to inform the government about. And then hopefully the third part of this video series would be landing in Canada, like the landing process, what you need to do to get like your permanent residency card, where you need to go to get like your SIN number, just those government things. So it's like a whole video series from like start to finish about like application up to the day you land and the 2 weeks after, something like that. We actually have an immigration consultant help us with our application, but before we found this immigration consultant, remember we consulted with
there's a lot of scam artists. Like I'm not going to name anyone because I don't need a slander lawsuit, but like there were like 3 or 4 or 5, something like that, between 3 and 5 that we contacted. They would just ask for money up front without any sort of proven track record.
And some people didn't even like turn on their webcams. We couldn't even see their faces to see if they were who they said they were.
You know, either that or they're just operating out of their house, pretending they're in an office, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They would ask for quite a sum of money up front. Well, it's not like a huge amount, but it's enough to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like a few $1,000s.
The first thing we did was we got our IELTS.
Yeah, so she beat me.
we did our IELTS September 2018, so this time last year.
That's quite a process in itself to do the IELTS, especially obviously if you English is your second language.
It takes 2 weeks though, from the time that like you book the exam to the actual exam. It takes 2 weeks. So there's a certain way that you have to answer the questions that they want.
Yeah, okay. Because I did worse in this, obviously. But my recommendation for this is to actually look up online. I mean, there's a variety of sources on YouTube which are very helpful.
Yeah.
There's a particular way in which these questions need to be answered. If you don't answer them in this way, you will be marked down.
Yeah.
And the marking is incredibly ruthless.
Yeah, you need at least an 8, 8, 8, 7. So an 8 on everything and at least a 7 in the writing to get enough points.
Yeah, so we got the maximum both, but you know, she got a higher score than me by like 1 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the grading system is, I don't.
Listening, writing, reading, and speaking. So you do the listening, reading, and writing together, and then you wait a couple of hours, and then you can do your speaking exam in the afternoon, something like that.
For the essay section, you really need to learn how to write the essays the way that they want you to write them. I couldn't stress that enough. This is
IELTS general training, not IELTS academic. Those are 2 different things, and you cannot use the IELTS academic for the express entry application.
She already did that one earlier.
Yeah, so I had to do like a general training one. The second thing we did is we got an ECA, which is an Educational Credential Assessment. So if you study outside of Canada, like us, I studied in the Philippines and he studied in Australia, so we had to get our degrees like evaluated by an accrediting body in Canada. So you have like 4 choices with this. So I did mine with Wes, and then he did his with ICES
and Wes. So because I have 2 degrees, if you have money, or if you have, you know, access to some money, or it's not going to impact you financially, just do what I did. I just applied to all of them. And whichever one came first, and was obviously with the result that you want, I would go with that. Because the issue with this is it takes an exceptionally long period of time because there are so many applications. So Wes says they will do it relatively quickly. We luckily got in before a whole bunch of people applied.
Yeah.
And that came in a month.
Yeah.
And that was all good.
Your ICS was quick also.
My ICS came in 2 months.
Yeah.
And the ICS one was for my graduate degree in commerce.
Yeah, so ICES ECA came in September 2018, and my West ECA came in October 2018.
But the reason for that was my West came first. We applied on the same date, but my West came first because it's a known degree with an Australian university that they obviously have some sort of relationship with.
Yeah.
So it's basically a tick the box situation. With hers, they had to verify a list of subjects,
yeah,
which took, you know, obviously a month longer.
Yeah. And then after that, what we did was, because we knew that processing things from the Philippines is gonna take a long time. So even before we got the invitation to apply, we already applied to get like police certificates.
Yeah, we just
went ahead. Just like, we would need it anyway, so let's just get it now, you know.
Because I don't live in Australia. I haven't lived in Australia for like a decade, really. But
we still need a police certificate for that.
Yeah, so I got one for when I was the period I was still living in Australia. I got one for the period I was living in the Philippines.
So any country you've lived for more than 6 months over the age of 18, you need a police certificate for that.
This sort of thing is a security check, and it does matter.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important.
Yeah, so once we got our educational credential assessments and our IELTS score, we created an express entry profile last December 2018, and because our score was so high, we had a CRS score of 462, and most people are around the
at that time.
Yeah,
there were the average sort of scores
were 430 to 445, right?
Yeah, so the histogram was kind of looking like we were like way up the higher percentile.
So we got invited right away. The next invitation round was January 2019. So we waited like a month because I think it was a holiday period, so they weren't doing any invitation rounds.
But no, just wait on the score thing. If you're unsure, don't shoot up. You know, don't try and put the higher score if you're unsure. Get someone to check it. Pay for someone to check it. Because if you put in the wrong score, you are legally lying.
After we got our invitation to apply, basically once you get your invitation to apply, you have 3 months from the day that you get it to submit all the documents that was required. So that's why we did the police certificates earlier, because we knew that we would need to submit it anyways, and we only have a 3-month window, and we weren't sure that the police certificates from the Philippines would come back within that amount of time. So after we got the ITA, we went and did an upfront medical exam. So usually this medical exam would be asked after you submit everything, but if you want to do it sooner, you can. So we just decided to do it right away to just take something else that we've done it, you know.
Yeah, just a sort of list of accomplishments.
Yeah.
Right? Get it out of the way. Note on this that the sooner that you do it, and the sooner your application is approved, also if
You
it
have
is
to leave.
approved, you have to be in Canada before that
time
time that you did the medical exam.
Yeah, so 1 year from the date of your medical exam, that is the day that you have to, the last day that you're legally allowed to land in Canada.
Otherwise, you have to pay for it again, do it all over again, and then what? You have to resubmit everything.
Yeah.
So no point.
So we submitted everything completely last March.
With the AOR, when you submit that, it should just be instant. Like when we submitted it, we got it like right away.
Yeah, an acknowledgement that they've received your...
If you haven't got it right away, you should probably call someone about that.
Yeah.
Or there might be, like your email might be wrong on the system.
Yeah. In April, we got an additional documents request, and like not everyone gets it. We're one of the few people who did get it. It just means that they need, you know, some clarification about something that you submitted. They were just a bit confused, so we just submitted the form that they asked for, and that was done. And then last May, we got a biometrics instruction letter. So this is you going to like the visa application center to give your fingerprints and stuff. And we also got a police certificate request. Now this is special for our situation because we live in Hong Kong. And in Hong Kong, you cannot just like ask for like a police certificate. So the Canadian government has to give you the letter requesting for it, and you need that letter to go to like the police headquarters to ask for the police certificate, because there's an address in the letter that they have to send the police certificate.
Yeah, so whether they're going to send it to Ottawa or they're going to send it to one of the other visa offices. But this takes time. Because they need to get 1 or 2 or 3 people to view the first stage of the application.
Yeah.
So if you're in Hong Kong, just wait.
It takes longer.
Yeah, it takes like a month.
Yeah.
You know, it's normal. Don't worry about it.
On May 10th, we did the biometrics appointment. We got the instruction letter on May 1st, but we weren't able to get an appointment until May 10th. So that is when we actually went to the visa application center to do the fingerprinting and everything.
And I'll ask you a bunch of questions, but you're not allowed to say what those questions are. So
after that, we did not hear from them. So May 10th, literally to the day that we got our passport request, we didn't hear anything, like nothing at all. Like I was just like freaking out, wanting to call someone, just like, what is the update? We already passed the 6-month mark. You said that we would usually get it around 6 months, or around 80% of applications get processed within 6 months, and we still weren't getting it. Apparently, the problem where when you submit it around like May to June-ish, what happens is that your first stage of clearing gets finished, right? I think it's like the security checks get finished, but then they halt like all the express entry applications, because by September there's like the start of the school year. So June to September, they're really like prioritizing student visas, because that has a deadline, right, for the school year to start.
Yeah, they have admission, so they have an influx of student visas that need to get processed, and unfortunately people like us are the people that, because we're used to waiting, we need to wait a bit longer.
Yeah.
Because obviously the students need to be there by a certain date. So
yeah, and so we actually got our passport request last September 19th, and the same day we went to the visa application center to submit all the documents, right? Because you only need your passport request letter, and you'll get it in an email. You'll need like a couple of photographs in like a certain size, and your passport.
Yeah, with the photographs, you need to make sure that you get like the name of the place that you had the photographs taken, the address, the phone number, and possibly also the name of the photographer.
If you're from a visa exempt country like he's from Australia, you don't have to physically leave your passport with the visa application center. You just need a photocopy of the bio page of the passport, and that's what you give them, right?
But
your passport stays with you. So he didn't need to physically leave his passport, but I did. So I had to leave my passport with the visa application center, and they said that it usually takes 1 to 2 weeks to get the passport back, but ours I think only because we submitted it like on a Thursday, and then by the next Wednesday they were like, hey, pick your passport up. So I was like, oh my god, okay, let's go, let's pick it up. So I was so excited. So my passport came back with the sticker, the permanent resident sticker, and it says number of entries 1, and then it says immigrant on the, it won't say, it will look exactly like tourist visas, except it will just say,
it's kind of like if you've ever got residency in a country before, like we got residency in Hong Kong, it will say entry 1, so that means you can come in once.
Yeah.
And then you'll go through the whole residency system, getting your cards and everything, and then that visa means that it's valid until expiry.
Yeah. All right, so we hope that you guys found this useful. Let us know what you want to see in the second video, because like that's just us moving from here to Canada and the whole process. Just
generally, if you have any questions, because then we could do like a FAQ or ask me anything kind of thing.
Yeah. I hope this video will help someone out there who wants to go to Canada, or like give them courage to like start the process.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty cool country. My brother likes it. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like very cold.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll see when we get there. Bye guys.